Hi, this is
Hi.
Michelle, and today I'm going to be interviewing Louise from I'm Feelin Crafty. She is one of my sponsors, and I thought it'd be really nice to meet her and chat with her, and that's what we're doing today. So, hi, Louise.
Hi.
How's it
Hey,
going?
here, finally get attached via the computer.
This is our first time meeting, so it's kind of nice to actually see you in person and
Yeah,
feel
exactly.
like there's a person behind that blog, you
I
know?
know.
Um, so your blog name is I'm Feeling Crafty. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do there?
Well, what I do there is I write about all the crafty stuff that I do, hence the name. This year, it seems like it's gotten to be a lot about quilting. Um, and of course, I do crafts, mostly crafts with my son. And then and sewing, and so I sew for my son and gifts and different things like that. It's a great outlet for me to keep me going with my creativity, so
Yeah.
I really enjoy it.
It's a lovely blog. It really is quite lovely. Your photography is so nice and well done and
Thank you.
eye candy, you know? So what brought you to start a blog, do you think?
Well, I live in Seattle, and all of my family lives in Alabama, and I've got some really close friends from high school that I used to be crafty with, and they live in Florida. So when I had my son, I started sewing more, um, and I wanted to show them what I was making. So I started it basically to show my mom and my two friends what I was up to. And then as I was looking around online, I found all these different craft blogs and sewing blogs, and I was like, hey, I guess I could write this for other people too, and get to know other people besides just my mom and my two friends. Um, and so I started trying to get more out there and make it a little more public, and started getting feedback from people, and that was really exciting. And then it transformed into this thing where I've got online friends like you, and it's like if you go way back to the beginning to some of those posts, the it's totally just snapshots and basically, hey mom, look what I made.
I actually went back and visited some of your earlier posts, and it really it's a massive difference between what you did then and what you do
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I definitely started putting more time and effort into it and making it more, I guess you could say, presentable to to the world.
So then, what did you do before the whole blog thing? What were you up to?
I'm technically an architect, and that's what I did. And when I met my husband, he's really artistic as well. And my sewing room was finished, but the rest of the basement wasn't. And I'd sit in the finished room sewing, and he'd sit in the back sawing and doing caustics and very unhealthy stuff. And different things. And before the blog, I had a shop, and I sold a bunch of stuff around town and some shops, some purses and pillows and these little ghosty dolls. I still make them every now and then, but with my full time job, it just and keeping up with all the different shops was hard for me. So
Yeah,
eventually, I kind of phased that out, and I got tired of mass producing bag after bag after bag.
yeah,
like, like what
no
else?
doubt.
And and when the economy went, a lot of those little shops went with
With
the
it.
economy. So that's kind of what I did before blog, and then I had my son, and that's kind of when everything changed. And
Are you no longer doing the architect thing, or are you still?
I got laid off almost 2 years ago now. October will be 2 years, and
Okay.
at first I was really upset about it, and I was talking to my husband last night about my work situation. He's like, but you're much happier now. I'm like, I am so much happier now. So
Yeah.
I have a part-time job at an architecture firm now.
Okay.
So I work Thursdays and Fridays at a firm, which is perfect. It keeps me in the loop of what's going on in the architecture world and keeps me going with it. And but it's not a full-time thing, so I have time to actually do the blogging. And I work at a fabric shop as well on Wednesdays.
Wow. So
And
you're super busy then.
yeah,
You are juggling like many things.
I am, but I
Wow.
love it. I love it. Yeah, it's perfect.
I'm so impressed because you're quite active on your blog too. It's
Hmm.
not like you post once a month or something. You're
No,
actually
I
quite,
try to post 3 times a week.
yeah.
So
Wow, I'm so impressed. Good for you. Good for you being able to handle all that. I would be going crazy. And houses would be falling down. Okay, so the fabric then so you make all kinds of things. You make quilts, you make bags, like you said, you make
Mhm.
clothing for your child. So when
Mhm.
did that love of fabric and working with it begin? Do you remember the first thing you ever made?
Yeah, I think it was the first thing I made. So let's see, how long ago was it? It was probably like 11 years ago, I guess, that I bought my sewing machine. And my mom came out to visit, and we went and got my sewing machine. And I have this bench at the end of my bed, and she's like, "You really need a cushion on that bench, and you really need to sew a cover for that cushion." I'm like, "Okay, I can do that." And so we went to the fabric store to get the fabric, and my mom comes back with this pattern, and it's a cushion with a skirt with I guess they were mitered corners maybe. And she's
Okay.
like, "This is what you need to do," and I'm like, "I've never sewn anything." She's like, "You can do it. You can do it." And I'm like, "Okay, well, you're gonna help me with this, right?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." And she basically just stood there while I made it. Like, yeah, you do this and you do that. You'll get it done. Like, okay. And I sewed it and it came out really well. That's pretty much my first thing. I didn't sew a whole lot with it after that, and some friends of mine gave me big cushions. They were like maybe 5 feet long, like
Oh my God.
big cushions.
Like a bed.
Yeah, it was almost. And I was so, for some reason the size of them scared me. So I even moved, and I moved with their cushions. That's how long I had their cushions. And so finally one day I was like, there's nothing to it. I can do this. Like, why am I scared of these cushions? And so I did it. And then I made this little pillow out of the scraps to
Okay.
give them as a kind of a, I'm sorry, it took me 3 years to make your cushions. And my husband's like, you could probably do something with this idea, because I did this. I used to do a lot of freehand stitching on the machine, but just moving it through, and just with my regular walking foot thing. And
Right.
he's like, you could do something with this, and so that's where the bags and the pillows came from. And so ever since then, I've been sewing regularly.
That's a great
So,
story.
yeah.
The massive cushions
Yes.
and the bench. And your mom telling you, you will make this.
Exactly.
So what does your family think of your blog then? Obviously they're supportive. If your husband is telling you, you should do this.
He has mixed feelings about it, because I mean, it does take a lot of time, as you know, and so he does have some mixed feelings sometimes when I'm spending so much time making stuff and blogging about it. And but I think he deals with it. You know, he likes what comes out of the blog and what I make for it. And he probably wishes I'd keep more of the stuff that I make. But But my son has fun. We were making something yesterday, and I said, okay, well, we're going to take some pictures. And on my front porch, I have a setup with a white background, and it's on our front porch.
Yeah.
And so I'm like waiting for my son to take these pictures. We were making lemonade, and I was going to take some pictures of it. And he'd gotten dressed and gone out, and I was sitting on the front porch waiting for me to take his picture for the with the white
He's way ahead of you.
and everything. I'm like, we're not taking pictures out here. He's like, oh, well, okay. He's like, what else would we take pictures of? So he enjoys doing the modeling for so much of it.
You get that. That really comes through in his pictures. He's like, he's like really into this. He is so into it. He's like, I'm the star.
Exactly. We had family pictures taken the other day, and the photographer's like, wow, he's really good at having his picture taken. And Joe, my husband's like, yeah, it happens quite a bit at our house.
He's an internet sensation.
Exactly.
He's so cute. Such a beauty. Okay, where am I here in my question? Okay, here's a question. What is like your most favorite thing on there?
I don't know, because I like so many of the things I've made, and I guess one of my favorites is it's a little mini quilt of a umbrella, and it's a postage stamp quilt, so it's a bunch of little pieces together, and I took pictures of Max, surprise, surprise, and then I printed them onto fabric of him holding an umbrella, so that those pieces of fabric are mixed in with all these other pieces, and that's one of my favorite ones, I think. My husband says the best thing I've made is the little fox skirt. I don't know if you saw that. It's a little skirt that I made for a friend's daughter. It's got this little fox from a pattern that I bought, and it's next to the woods, and it's this green skirt, or blue skirt with a little green trim and a green layer. So there's 2 layers to it, and it's pretty adorable.
I will put links on the post so that people can find these things. They totally sound cute. I especially love the fact that you use pictures of your son in that quilt. That is so cool. Are they small?
Yeah, they're really small. They're because the pieces were 2 by 2, and then once you quilt them, they're like 1.5 by 1.5
exactly.
little squares. So
tiny.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'll put those down. So I'm Feelin Crafty it's kind of transformed itself from blog to eventually, you grew it and you grew it, and over time, and it's now a business as well. So it's something that you're trying to make sustainable for yourself.
Right.
So I'm taking it from your stories now that it wasn't the original intention for the blog. So what made you decide to go that way?
So one thing is the amount of time I spend on it, and it would be nice to make a little bit to cover some of my time and materials for that, And the other part of it was when I did get laid off, I started trying to think of other ways to do what I want to do. And so monetizing the blog was one way. I started an Etsy shop, and so that's doing pretty well. I need to put some more time into that as well. Mostly it came from rethinking what I was doing for a living,
Right.
So
you make clothing for your little one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the cutest stuff. I like those little surfer slacks. And he's just posing like a professional.
And his dad was there for that photo shoot, and he was kind of teaching him along. He's like, "Okay, do this like a surfer would do," and I'm like snapping pictures. Yeah.
So what is it about making clothing for him that is attractive to you?
Mostly because he likes it. He
It
really
looks
likes
like
it,
he
and
likes
his
it.
dad makes T-shirts too, and
Yeah.
he loves wearing things that we make for him, and I know that that's not gonna last. There's gonna be a
No.
day when he's like, "Mom, quit making my clothes. I want to go buy
Seriously, Mom.
it." And so it's mostly, and he likes picking out the fabric. I take him to fabric shops with me, and for the last, I want to say 2, maybe even 3 months, he keeps going to this flame fabric. And he's like, "I need this. I need this." Like, you don't need that at all. It's red and orange and yellow and black. It's just like you'd see on the side of a Harley Davidson or something.
Okay.
It's like so not something I'd pick out at all. And so finally, I was like, okay, he's been asking for it for this long. He wants it. Like, it's not just this passing phase, obviously. And so
Yeah.
we bought it. And I'm like, well, but what do you want to do with it? He's like, I want some shorts. You need to make me some shorts.
That sounds perfect. I can't wait to see the flaming shorts.
Exactly. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
but yeah, it's fun. It's really fun because he enjoys wearing it and picking out the fabric and that sort of stuff. So it's fun.
Cool. The fact that he's involved and he loves having his picture taken and he loves the things you make for him, it just kind of
Yeah,
makes it worthwhile,
it does. It does. Yeah.
So in all of this then, I'm going to ask you one more question.
Okay.
What is the biggest lesson that you've learned from all of this blogging and creating thing?
Well, I've taught myself how to quilt, and that's huge for me. Because when I first started blogging, I didn't. I mean, I sewed, like these purses that I made, and I didn't had the faintest clue about how to quilt. And at first it was like it's this old lady kind of thing to do, and then I started I got inspired by the G's Bin quilts,
Oh gosh,
and
yeah.
with the whole blogging thing, it's just opened my world to so much, that you wouldn't necessarily see on an everyday basis. And I realized quilting was not just an old lady thing to do.
Absolutely not.
And not at all.
No.
And I fell in love with it and just figured out how to do it. And so I guess the main thing I've learned from my blog is how to take my creativity from what I know and teach myself new things. And that I really love to do. And
Cool.
so it's been a great learning experience. And since I do blog 3 times a week, I gotta keep making stuff. So
Exactly.
so I keep finding new things to make. And
Well, thanks, Louise. I totally appreciate hearing about your life and hearing about all, your adventures with the blog and your families.
Yeah,
So cool to meet you.
it's very cool to meet you too.
Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm going to press the big red button again.
All right.
And we'll say goodbye.
All right.
Okay?
Have a good day.
You too. Bye, Louise.
Bye bye.